like this is a very important conversation, especially for my type of clients who feel overwhelmed by their business and it feels like, oh my God, I'm holding too much. I feel like an overwhelmed operator instead of stepping into my CEO position. So let's dive into how to actually see things from the angle of your ideal clients so that you can set boundaries without guilt. Let's dive right in. Hello and welcome. I am so excited for this one. Once again, as usual, I'm always excited. So let's talk about setting boundaries from the angle of our client. And I'm going to be giving you practical examples of how I personally apply this and the mindset I have when I set boundaries. First of all, I understand what it's like to feel guilt over setting boundaries. Right now, I am so at home with setting boundaries, but it was not always the case. In fact, people call me right now the boundaries queen, but it has not always been the case. So let me reflect and let's go back to how it actually started. The first time I ever set boundaries for a client was when I was still like in another business and I was trying to figure out my way and what I actually wanted. And I remember it was a friend who came to me and wanted, I think it was a design project because I used to do design on the side. And so this person came to me and wanted me to help him design his website or website at that time. But before then, I'd been giving out all the free things. And so when this person came to me asking me for a design project, I just was frustrated. And I was like, I've been doing all of those free things. Like people don't even regard that. And so I decided to say no. I told him, no, I'm sorry. I cannot work with this. And really internally, I felt cringe, right? Did I just say no to someone? And it was so funny because I started to overthink every single thing. But then, few years later, recently, like this person who had asked me for that project was already doing the thing, right? Which brings me to realization number one from the client angle when it comes to setting boundaries. When we set boundaries, our clients learn to do the thing. Backing back to the video that I created where I shared setting boundaries from perspective of you. And one of the things we talked about was being able to position to a go-getter. Now, sometimes even a go-getter, someone who is very active, like someone who can't get the work done, might want to lean in, not because they want to bother us or lean totally on us, but sometimes they feel like they might not be able to get that thing done. But when we set those boundaries, it activates the decision maker in them. It activates the go-getter in them once again, and they find themselves doing it. They find themselves figuring things out. So setting boundaries is actually very helpful for our clients because they are able to do the thing. But this scenario with this past friend isn't only the example I have. At another instance, someone else wanted me to do a project, and personally, I knew that the money that was coming in wasn't going anywhere. Like it was totally something I didn't want to do. And so again, I said no because I started learning to say no. So this one is important. We need to cultivate that habit of saying no, right? It's not something that just instantly comes. We learn, we cultivate that habit. Before you know it, you are a boundaries queen or boundaries king. So I said no to that project. And here's what happened. When I said no, they actually reached out to pay me at a higher price. Oh my God, that gave me another perspective shift that when we actually say no, we elevate the respect that our clients have for us. Did I say that too fast? When we say no, we actually elevate the respect that our clients have for us. And I've seen that in so many ways. Like personally, when someone says no to me, when they stay grounded with their values and they actually are bold enough to say no, because I believe say no is like boldness, it's courage. When they actually are bold enough to say no and they are grounded in that, what ends up happening is that I have a high regard for this person. Like I put them on this eye level, right? And it's so amazing that we don't think about this. We think that when our clients hear no from us, they immediately start to cringe or they lose respect. But that's not the case. It's actually the flip side. Like they respect us more when we say no. So another example was also from a client, right? So this client came to me and they were ready to pay, but when I told them about my hours, the time and the support, the level of support I was giving them, they raised a concern about if that number of hour will help them get the result. And then here was how I answered them. I told them that the number of hours I was given wasn't equivalent to the results that they would get. I reminded them that they were already committed to that result and they were going to do it irrespective of whether or not I gave them 10, 20 hours. They only desired my support to accelerate what they've already made the decision to do. And boom, the next day, I saw a payment alert. Right? This client was like having doubt. I reframed that to show them that I respect and I trust them. And that is why I'm setting those boundaries in my containers. And I'm only working specific hours. And the next thing, the client was paying. I didn't even try to handle objections or go deep with them. I only shared that. And they made the decisions for themselves. So here are the 3 reasons from your client's perspective. When we actually set boundaries, first of all, our clients are reminded that they're impactful, that they're action takers, and they actually get things done faster. And also, their level of respect for us actually elevates when we set boundaries. And finally, it actually has that potential to draw in the best type of clients for us into our containers when we set the boundaries beforehand, even in our sales conversation. So this is very, very important that we take note of. And I hope that this video has really given you more insight into why clients actually appreciate that we set boundaries in our containers, in our interactions with them, even before they get into our containers, and even our marketing, in our way handling our sales conversations. They actually want us to set those boundaries. Let me know in the comment section, like which of this like really spoke to you when it comes to setting boundaries and how this will support you in feeling zero guilt when we say no. Once again, if you would like support around this in setting those boundaries, then I am the person to support you. So be sure to grab any of the links that I've shared right below to get your hands on either a container that will be supportive for you or any of the mini resource that I have attached to this video. Thank you so much for joining me. I look forward to connecting with you in the next video. Bye for now.